you've heard from him.
That's right.
Did he give his name?
No, he said he was calling for E.J. Wallace, president of Carousel Novelties.
Can you recall exactly what he said?
That Mr. Wallace wanted to get together with me and talk things over.
Well, then a bribe was not specifically mentioned.
Oh, it's pretty obvious what he had in mind.
And what did you say to him?
That I'd think it over.
You never been approached by Mr. Wallace or anyone from his firm in the past?
No.
Thank you. Did he mention this to anyone else other than you?
Came straight to me. Not even my secretary knows anything about it.
How long has Mr. Bell been an Internal Revenue agent?
12 years.
How do you rate him?
Just made GS-13s, very reliable.
You know, and some novelties Carousel deals in. Last year's reported gross income, $11 million.
Well, they're in the coin-operated machine business, among other things.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody wanted to pay for an audit to save himself or his firm $90,000 in additional taxes.
Well, what do you want us to do?
Nothing for the time being.
If Bell gets another phone call, tell him to stall.
We'll be in touch.
Right. O'Hara?
You touch a nerve, a man may jump.
Let's check with intelligence.
Carousel Novelties. Et al. 101 Corporation. Alpha Development. XYZ Incorporated. Combined gross annual income, $100 million. Give or take.
Anything on E.J. Wallace we might be able to use, Mackie?
Or is he involved in this personally?
Possibly.
Well, he's a good family man. Sends his kids to the best schools, contributes regularly to charity, started Carousel Novelties from scratch, ran head on into some heavy competition. We think he got caught in the squeeze.
Juice racket?
The usual thing. He remained on as a figurehead. The organization took over control. All of these companies are either owned or controlled by organized crime. We get close, that's all. Insufficient evidence to recommend prosecution on fraud. That's the last entry. Jim, let me ask you one. Why would Wallace want to attempt a payoff?
We get the answer to that, we'll let you know.
Well, you may come up roses. Find a way to the top banana. His name's Dalton Young. Chairman of the board, Alex Investment and Holdings. Parent company of 101, Alpha, XYZ, and Carousel Novelties. A very big, very bad boy. Mackie? Yeah, hold on. Dick, for you.
Inspector King. Yes. I see. Just stay put. Thank you. We'll see what E.J. Wallace has in mind. That was Bell. They contacted him again. Want to know if he's interested.
Tell him you're interested, but it's too big for you to handle. Tell him your supervisor can handle it, and you think he can be had. Not Mr. Teal, me. You think you can hack it?
I'm no braver than the next man, but look, I've got a wife and 3 kids. What if Wallace finds out that I lied about you being my supervisor?
Ed, all you have to do is set up a meet, introduce me, then split. All right, Ed, I'm not going to con you. There is a risk involved, but we can narrow the odds. Besides, we haven't lost a revenue agent yet. There is one thing. We cannot do it without you.
Okay. Couldn't this be dangerous for you?
No more than taking a walk on the freeway on Sunday afternoon.
Mr. Owens, welcome to Burning Oaks. Sit down, gentlemen. Millie, my guests have arrived. Why don't you do as the doctor says and get some rest? No, I won't forget. Now, that's strawberry ice cream and pickled herring, right? Okay.
I do.
How about a drink?
Yeah, fine by me.
No, thank you. I'm afraid I have to go, if you'll excuse me.
No point in keeping you. Ask Carl to bring us two of the same, will you, please?
Certainly.
Well, how do you like it, Mr. Owens?
It's very nice.
And expensive. Cost me a bundle to join. You play golf?
Not in places like this. I usually deal in other people's bundles.
Not necessarily an incurable condition.
Well, what's your prescription, Mr. Wallace?
Being willing to listen. So few people are these days.
I'm listening.
I hear you're also hungry. I like that. A hungry fighter's usually a winner. I always back a winner.
Who do I tango with?
Nobody. Not unless you forget to listen and start to talk too much. I think we ought to play a round of golf together. What about in the morning early? If we come out about 6 o'clock, we'll have the course to ourselves. I think I ought to warn you, though. I play for money.
You always back a winner.
Wouldn't be surprised if you won a bundle. What the devil are you doing here?
Don't get up. I'm Hannah Cole,
Jim Owens.
and this is Brad Fletcher.
Fletcher.
How you do?
Look, Hannah.
Come off it, EJ. We called your office from the airport. They told us you'd be here. Besides, we wanted to meet Mr. Owens. Didn't we, baby?
Your fame precedes you, Mr. Owens.
All the way to the airport.
Oh, further than that.
Mr. Owens was just leaving. In the morning, 6 o'clock. Be on time.
I'll be there. Nice meeting you. This introductory statement is being made by Inspector Jim O'Hara. The date is April 3rd. The time is 5:53 a.m. The statement is being transmitted through transmitting unit 74987 and is being recorded on tape recorder serial number 59324. This equipment is being used for the purpose of recording a conversation with Mr. Everett J. Wallace at Burning Oaks Country Club.
When I was a kid, I used to caddy around here. Made up my mind I was going to have a membership one day. Took a little time.
Go away.
Finally had to pull a few strings. Make a few contributions in the right places. You can get pretty much what you want in this world if you learn how to play the game.
And you're way over my head. Maybe you better spell it out for me.
I thought you were a good listener, Owens. Hey, take this lie, for instance. I could play it safe to the fairway or risk going straight to the green. You know, it's a funny thing, but every time I play the long shot, I get burned. Tends to make a man careful.
Not a bad idea, especially for someone in your position.
Or yours.
I think we both know how to play this game, Mr. Wallace.
I'm beginning to think we do. Well, let's hit the shower.
Isn't it time to settle up? Your idea.
Oh, the score. We'll talk about that. Everything goes right, we just might make a habit of this, Owens.
In favor of making things right.
You don't mind my saying so, though. You play too conservatively. You've got to learn how to take a calculated risk every now and then. It'll pay off in the long run. Looks like the Easter Bunny came early, huh? 5,000 now and 5,000 later when everything's taken care of. And I don't have to tell you that it's strictly between us.
But maybe you should make it clear as to what you mean by everything.
You're going to take care of Carousel, no matter of a little $97,000 tax problem.
Morning, gents. Nice day, huh? Oh, I see you took the big man for a bundle.
You got lucky.
You had to play, didn't you?
Look, I'm sorry, no.
You busy tonight?
Well, I have a few things.
Cancel them. And, write this off to Experience. Don't you know gambling's illegal?
Did you make the ground rules?
EJ has a bad habit of breaking the ground rules. One of these days, he's going to take a wrong step, fall in a trap, and break both his legs. Hang loose tonight.
Is there any reason why I should?
We've established what you are, bookkeeper. Now we just want to see how far you'll go with the big boys. I know where to find you.
You said you used to caddy here, Wallace.
Yeah.
Maybe you still do.
You witnessed the offer, Al. We could go to trial what we have on Wallace, but I think we'll sit on that for now. See what develops with Fletcher.
What do you put him in the picture, Jim?
Well, he's muscle. Messenger boy from somewhere up on top.
He wasn't clear about why he wanted to see you tonight?
No, he's fishing, but he seemed to know where to drop the hook.
Someone telephoned audit at 9 o'clock this morning. Asked for a supervisor named Owens. No sweat. They got all the right answers.
Well, I guess I better be at my apartment tonight.
It's wired. Ed and Al will back up.
The party that phoned audit, Fletcher?
A woman.
Do you know you have a drafty hallway?
Have a few bars, I'll get it right away.
That's an old joke.
I know.
If you're gonna go out with me, you better change.
I was expecting, Fletcher.
I'm prettier than he is. Make it black tie. We're gonna ride the bubbles.
I'm fresh out of tuxedos and champagne.
All I really want is you.
What are we celebrating?
Don't you know?
Tell me.
You almost stubbed your toe today.
I had the distinct impression that Mr. Wallace did.
Mr. Wallace sometimes forgets who he's working for.
Well, the record shows that he's the top man at Carousel Novelties.
Well, things aren't always what they appear to be, are they?
Well, I lost $5,000 today.
What's $5,000?
And nothing, I suppose, to someone who can afford it, and you know I cannot. So if you're expecting to ride the bubbles...
Why don't you let me worry about that? You're even better looking up close.
I'll go and change.
What is it you want out of life, Jim?
Oh, a piece of cake now and then.
Do you expect to get it by putting yourself up for sale?
Well, I'm not doing too well so far.
Take my advice. Forget it. You're a nice guy.
All right, Hannah, let's get it all said. Your case, my apartment. You've given me every opportunity to be Mr. Nice Guy, and you've read me the standard speech about the evils of easy money. Why?
Can you get away from your office for a few days? A week, maybe?
Possible, it depends.
Oh, I assure you, the price will be very right.
Where am I going?
We, Jim. We.
Are you two making out?
We've taken turns reading minds.
She told you the one about her lonely past yet?
I've heard no sad songs.
I was just telling Mr. Owens that he's acceptable.
She'll get around to it. Just make sure she puts in the part about how Brad Fletcher pulled her out of the sewer when she was going under for the last time.
Now it's late. I've been up early.
She told you yet?
About the trip? She started to.
Tomorrow night, we've got our own plane.
Well, where are we going, or is that privileged information?
Puerto Rico.
What for?
A free vacation for openers.
Okay, why not?
You have a nice apartment?
What, do you plan to sleep over?
Sure. You're practically one of the family. Here, this should take care of it, baby. See you tomorrow night at the plane.
Food in the kitchen. Help yourself.
Where are you going?
In my office? No way I can take off for a week without notifying them. I work for the federal government, remember?
Use the phone.
Anyone would think you don't trust me.
I got my job to do.
You can come along if you want. But there's no way I'm going to call this in. Now, either we trust each other or the whole thing is off.
Okay, but I go along.
Where'd you leave Fletcher?
I left him in the outer office of the audit division with a coloring book. I used a back door he'll keep Ed Miller's watchdogging him.
You say the girl tried to steer you off the trip.
Before Fletcher, after, she was very uptight. She played it by the numbers.
She's a shill.
She could be. She could also be a young lady who's gotten in over her head and doesn't know how to get out.
Why would she think you'd be interested in helping her?
Woman's intuition, desperation, I don't know. Hey, she didn't burn me.
You think she could be turned?
Even if she could, she doesn't know that much about Young's operation. Nothing that would be incriminating in a court of law.
We're mighty short in the answers column, Jim.
Well, we know that Hannah and Fletcher worked for Dalton Young. And it's my guess that Young sent them out here when he heard that Wallace was trying to buy an audit.
But why would Young want to queer the Wallace fix?
Wallace started with an agent. He graduated to a supervisor. Now, if Mr. Young had a supervisor in his pocket, well, he could play for bigger fish than a $5,000 payoff on a $90-some thousand tax audit. It's my guess that Young told Mr. Wallace to cool it.
Afraid Wallace might blow the setup and fall.
Didn't follow orders, got his hand slapped.
Nail Dalton Young, the whole organization could tumble like a house of cards.
It could also be a lovely week's vacation.
A hinky girl. A hoodlum with a nasty record. And a very big, very bad boy named Dalton Young. Lovely. Okay, Jim. I'll check Miami. They'll put someone in to back you up. You'll make contact San Juan.
It'd be helpful if you could come up with more on Hannah Cole.
We'll dig. I'll pass it along through your contact. You really broke the needle on her, didn't you, Jim?
It's all in the line of duty.
You like?
I could learn to.
Enjoy it while you can. Bookkeeper,
Poor Fletch. Airplanes and boats. His tummy gets upset.
I'll live. Anywhere else, I'm the best man you ever met, right, baby? Remember Jersey City?
I remember a lot of things like they happened to someone else.
So when you called yourself Harriet. Harriet. That's the way it is with dames, Owens. Do them a favor and they forget the hand that feeds them.
Maybe they want to forget.
You fell once, baby. You'll fall again. But, don't sweat it. Old Fletch will be around to pick up the pieces.
I haven't fallen again yet.
Bet you're getting shaky, baby. Like, maybe he's not been so attentive lately. Like, maybe he's nosing around in greener pastures.
You two want to be alone, I'll take a walk, but that first step's going to be a beauty.
There are no secrets in our little family, Jim. None where Fletch is concerned.
She'd like to cut my heart out, wouldn't you, baby?
I'd like to have the last 5 years in my hand and ram every day down your throat.
Oh, remember my stomach.
Every rotten, terrible day.
And all those nights, too?
Leave me alone, will you? Just shut up and leave me alone.
So leave her alone, Fletcher.
What do you know about it, bookkeeper?
Nothing.
She told you all about it, huh?
No, but I can add.
Yeah? Well, put this down in column 4. You're on probation until the boss says thumbs up. If he does, you're on the payroll. And then you can have equal voting rights with the rest of us employees. Until then, take my advice, cool it. And stay out of things that don't concern you, dig?
You know, we do have one thing in common, a weak stomach. Nothing turns me off more than a cheap hood making a lady cry.
Miss Cole, I had to bring the boy along. I'll tie him up.
Oh, that's all right, Oliver. Here, take our suitcases,
Thank
will you?
Hey, kid, you been a good boy?
Yes, sir, Mr. Fletcher.
I'll bet.
Alfredo, I want you to meet Mr. Jim Owens.
Hi.
Hi. You like him?
Yes, I like him.
Then you're okay with me. I'll show you my ship models.
Okay.
Come on, in the car.
Mr. Young would like you to bring Mr. Owens to him immediately at the casino.
So go already. Oh, Mr. Owens. Welcome to San Juan. Welcome. Tiana. Ma petite. Unfortunately, I'm tied up at the moment. But you'll be my house guest, of course. Hannah will show you around, get you settled, and I'll see you at dinner. Have a pleasant trip?
Relatively speaking.
Fine, fine. See that he gets everything he needs. I want his stay to be pleasant. Fletcher?
The master's spoken. Shall we go?
Señor Turista, I am the best guide in all of San Juan. Santiago Bustamante will show you everything. You want maybe the fishing trip? Try my boat, the Buena Suerte. The best boat and the luckiest boat in all San Juan. Remember, the Buena Suerte, señor. Fishing, sightseeing, everything.
Mr. Young likes his privacy.
The sentry dogs are locked up in their kennels. They're only turned loose at night.
You want to go see my ship models?
Later, querido. What did I tell you about wearing shoes?
I forgot.
Well, go put them on now. Scoot.
The motherly instinct coming out?
I'm all the mother he's got. I found him in San Juan. He was half starved and living off what he could steal. Dalton lets him live here. Well, what do you want to do until tonight?
Maybe I'd go fishing.
We'll have to take Alfredo.
We?
Well, I can't let Alfredo go alone. Besides, I like to fish.
And maybe some other time.
Jim, you can't go anywhere without somebody keeping an eye on you. I can guarantee you we're being watched right now. It's a little like being in prison, on a rope with diminishing privileges.
And I had $5,000 in my hand for about 1 minute. Now I don't have it. When I got here, they led me to believe that $5,000 was just barnyard food. Now, you work for Mr. Young, and I might work for Mr. Young, so why are you trying to top me off?
People don't work for him. They belong to him, like his sentry dogs or his companies. Dalton uses people and things, and then when he doesn't need them anymore, he gets rid of them. I know, Jim. I know too much.
What can I do about it?
You don't have to be dishonest. You don't have to take his money. I can help you. I know where all the closets and all the skeletons are. I can give you chapter and verse on his companies. How they hide the money. How they cheat on the taxes.
Now, you don't expect me to walk away from the setup like this?
I'm asking you to help me. If you wanted to, you could hang me by telling Dalton what I just said.
That goes both ways, doesn't it?
It's not just for me, it's for Alfredo. I know what it's like to grow up with your hands clenched into fists and fighting every minute. I was born with the smell of cabbage and bathrooms in my nose. And the street gangs didn't play cute little games like kick the can. I never knew my father. My mother was afraid of the dark, and we lived in the dark. When I got big enough to know better, I didn't care about right and wrong. I just wanted to stay alive and get away from the stink of cabbage. So I did whatever I had to. Then I met Fletch, and I traded one jungle for another. That's what this is, you know, underneath all the glitter. It's a jungle.
Well, let's just say I won't mention to Mr. Young what you've said.
I'm certain that you, of all people, can understand the need for precaution. So we'll take a few days to get to know you before we make any decisions.
Jim said something about going fishing.
Fletcher will take care of Mr. Owens. And you may say good night, my petite. You deal with money in the abstract, Mr. Owens. What do you know about it?
I have a healthy respect for what it buys.
Yes, with enough of it, a man can buy the only thing really worth having in this world. Power. But when a man has more than enough, it can pose incredible difficulties.
Now, when you put it to work.
Yes, but when you do that, it's like tossing a pebble into a pool. The ripples spread everywhere, and where they touch, they cause troubles. The con men, cheats, common thieves, they can be handled. But the greedy pose a somewhat different problem.
Mr. Young, I'm a bit confused. Not that I don't enjoy a vacation. I thought this was a business trip.
In a day or two, we'll come to an understanding, perhaps.
I had an understanding with E.J. Wallace, almost.
Wallace made the mistake of getting greedy, of trying to take things into his own hands, shall we say.
There is only one thing I want to get my hands on.
Well, that's plain enough. I'm a businessman, Mr. Owens. I buy, I sell. For the moment, I'm still evaluating the risk factors. And I like to have the merchandise where I can see it.
And there is no reason why I shouldn't go fishing.
See to it.
Yes, sir.
My boat is fully outfitted.
If it's all the same to you, I'll pick my own. Not that I don't appreciate the offer.
We have a rule around here, bookkeeper. What Mr. Young says goes.
Well, Mr. Young is ready to come to an understanding. You'll find me very receptive. Until then, I'm sure he won't mind if I enjoy myself on my own.
You do as you're told.
I'm not on any payroll yet.
Nobody talks like that.
Sit down, Fletcher. You're pushing, Mr. Owens. Not sure I like that.
Somebody once told me that if you're going to go into business, don't go into business with a lightweight. Yeah, I'm stubborn. It's principle.
I wonder if I can afford to accept that.
You're a buyer in a seller's market.
I could mark that down as the observation of a greedy man.
Not at all. Just a man who knows that he can deliver.
You gonna let him talk like that, boss?
Oh, calm yourself, Fletcher. Mr. Owens and I are just getting to know one another.
I'll fish a little later. Make sure you don't let the lady catch a bigger one.
I don't mind, not Tana.
You got him brainwashed.
Why don't you go someplace and let us fishermen do our work?
How about a game of gin rummy, Fletch? see if the captain's got some beer. It'll settle your stomach.
Why didn't you bring along a brass band?
No choice.
Don't underrate that lad. Odds are he's Young's pet executioner.
Tell me something I don't know. My office come up with anything about the girl?
No word yet. You met Young?
Yeah, we met.
I've got 4 men working with me. But we can't cover you when you're inside that fortress of his.
I know, guards and sentry dogs.
When's he gonna make the offer?
The crystal ball is as good as mine.
That complicates.
We can't do an inventory and search procedure. How do I get wired?
Any object you carry will be automatically suspect.
Maybe not. What if I have an accident going down the ladder, hurt my knee, then I'd need a cane, wouldn't I?
You think Young wouldn't inspect a cane?
When he'd look at it, be clean.
A switch?
At the time of the payoff.
I can rig a duplicate with a transmitter in the handle. But how will I get it to you?
It's a good question.
Just let me know when you find an answer.
Jim, are you all right?
I twisted my knee. Fine fisherman I turned out to be.
I'll tell the skipper to head back to port.
Hey, Jim, you bust your leg, did ya?
You're stubborn on more than principle, bookkeeper. Gotta have a doctor look at that knee.
It's happened before. Besides, Bustamante's going to bring me a cane. Hey, senor.
Here we are, senor. The finest workmanship of my friend Guillermo. And 1,000 pardons for the slight delay.
Muchas gracias.
That will be $10, senor. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
No mention.
Let me help you, Jim.
Maybe we can carry you. I don't have to go to school, do I?
Yes, you do.
But all I want to do when I grow up is build boats.
Don't you want to build good boats?
Sure.
Well, then you're going to have to learn design, engineering, things like that.
Sounds pretty hard.
Not if you start out right.
Did you go to school?
Still going. I'm taking a refresher in psychology.
Huh?
And it has to do with why people do what they do.
And whether they really are what they seem to be.
I think I'll just build boats.
Well, well. Isn't this a cozy seat? Man wants to see you. Move. I'll take over, right, kid?
No, don't. You'll ruin it.
No. Need a good man to help you. All right. Where does this go?
Don't, Mr. Fletcher. I want Jim to help me.
Please, Fletch.
Operates pretty good for a gimpy bookkeeper. You two ought to have better taste, though, right, kid?
Why don't you leave the boy alone?
No, he wants me to help him.
Please, Mr. Fletcher. I want Jim. He's good. He showed me how to fix it.
Yeah? I'll let him fix this.
Shall we go see the man?
Emotion is one luxury I never permit myself, Mr. Owens. Distorts reality, clouds the brain, and is positively ruinous to digestion. It can also sometimes betray a man into making a fatal error.
I may or may not do business, but it will be without the benefit of him.
Well, we'll table that incident. Fletcher probably had it coming. It won't happen again.
You know it won't.
It's enough, Fletcher.
Look. You pay me a lot of money. Keep my eyes open and my mouth shut. All right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
But not before I tell you this guy's trouble and as phony as that $10 cane.
I can be packed and out of here in 10 minutes.
You're not going anywhere, Owens. If you've got something, let's have it.
It's just a feeling, that's all. Keeps hanging around handing that kid all the time.
Shake him down. Oh, and Fletcher, if you have any more remarks to make, please see that they do not include my wife. Is she neglected to tell you that we were married? Well, it's probably because she knows it's only a temporary condition. I wonder if there's anything else she neglected to mention.
I'm not very good at word games, Mr. Young.
Oh, come now, Mr. Owens. It's all in the family. If you have anything to tell me, let's just kick it around between us.
I'd just as soon leave family matters to you, all right?
You just made the right decision. That's all, Fletcher.
For now.
I never apologize.
I'll write it off to experience.
Could you write off, shall we say, $50,000 a year as a retainer, with bonuses along the way if things go well?
Cash?
I always do my most important business in cash. You understand what I expect from my investment?
Yeah. This calls for a big celebration. How about the casino tonight?
On me. See that everything is in order.
We want everything to be just right, don't we, ma petite?
Naturally.
This is a very, very special occasion.
I don't know why you bothered to include me, Dalton.
We would make it a double celebration. A beginning and an ending. Shall we go? Wait for us, Oliver. Just fine. Well, there's something wrong, Mr. Owens. Forgot something?
No, I've got a thing about roulette. I worked out a system. Had a feeling that those wheels can be had.
I'm afraid they can't be had. However, perhaps we can create our own diversion. First, we'll cut to see who keeps the boy.
Even from you, that is a horrible idea.
Why, that shouldn't come as a shock to a girl who was born with the stink of cabbages in her nose, who lived in the dark, who knows where the skeletons and the closets are. You don't have to be dishonest. You don't have to take his money.
You told him.
Sit down. You didn't tell me anything. You didn't have to. They have some marvelous eavesdropping devices, ma petite. Exceptionally efficient. I can play you a tape of everything you said to him since your arrival.
If you don't mind, I'd like to be excused from this family quorum.
No, please. Stay. Cut. No. Not now. We'll order later. Cut. And then we'll talk about what happens to you if you win.
I should have taken a leaf from your book. Never play against the house.
This is your affair, Mr. Young. I don't want any part of it. When you get ready to deal me a hand, let me know.
Fletch.
Pushing your luck, bookkeeper. Inside.
If this is too rich for your blood, Mr. Owens, you'll just have to put up with it.
I don't think he's the type that'll ever get used to it, Mr. Young.
You animal.
Well, I thought I'd make it a sporting proposition. There. That should thin your blood out a little. Go on, count it. $50,000, your first year's retainer.
It's a down payment on your soul. What's going to happen to Alfredo?
Since you refuse to play, my petite, shut up.
Why don't you just kill me and get it over with? You're a fool.
50 big ones. And bonuses, you said.
Look at him, Fletch. I told you. Enough money will do it every time.
Well, it was a nice vacation.
Oh, you'll have plenty of work to do. Starting with Ajax Holding and including 101, Alpha, XYZ, and Carousel Novelties. Oh, and from this moment on, Mr. Owens, I don't expect to ever have the least little bit of difficulty with any corporate or personal income tax return. Understood?
Understood. Well, that wraps it up.
Oh, stick around.
The, roulette wins. All this loot. United States Treasury IRS inspection. You're under arrest, Mr. Young.
Hands on the table.
Take them out and give them their rights.
Come on, let's go.
Very dramatic, but hardly conclusive.
I can play you a tape of everything we said.
Oh, thank God. Thank you, Jim. Butterflies.
Better not keep him waiting.
Who?
Alfredo.
It's a little like finding a new life, isn't it? But I'm not going to let you out of my sight either. Will you be?
The new life belongs to Alfredo, doesn't it?
You're a wonderful guy. It isn't Owens, is it?
Nope. O'Hara.
O'Hara. Well, maybe, yes, someday soon we'll ride those bubbles, O'Hara.
Maybe.
Looks like a complete wrap-up, Jim.
Yeah, Hannah Cole wants to testify.
You explain why it wouldn't be admissible as his wife?
I did.
Remind me to tell you sometime. Good job.
Does it earn me a day off?
You just had a week off.
Need some time off to go shopping for a model boat. Kid I know got his all busted up.
Next on A&E, a governess designs a fatal plan for her wealthy husband in Blanche Fury, starring Valerie Hobson and Stuart Granger.
Which one belongs to the apartment?
That one. Name's Buster Grant. This one? Chet Hansen, a drinking buddy. Looks troubled, don't he? Feel pulse.
Yeah, yell up an ambulance. Have make it quick.
It's going to have to be a lot faster than that. Buster's been with me better than 5 years. A good tenant.
Not anymore.
What do you think is wrong?
You need a road map? What's the reading?
Negative, 1 DOA, and Hansen just died on the table.
How do you list the cause of death?
Well, we'll have to wait on autopsy, but right now I'd list cause as ingestion of impure whiskey with a high lead salt content.
Rotten moonshine.
Repeated doses would do it. Did you find some around when you picked them up?
A 1-gallon jug with a pretty good dent in it.
Rotten way to go. Spoonful of cyanide would be quicker.
Hansen's wife is waiting.
Yeah, my favorite chore, delivering the news. Mrs. Hansen?
He's dead, isn't he? He's dead.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hansen. There was nothing we could do. He's pretty far gone when they got him here.
Poor fool. Chester, you poor, poor fool. You wouldn't listen. You just wouldn't listen.
Is your husband a heavy drinker?
But he was a good man. And he was a good provider. Except when he started on that stuff.
Did he always drink moonshine?
Hardly anything else.
Where did he get the stuff this time?
He didn't get it. Buster did. And he had to. Chester was flat broke.
But where did they get it?
Billy Jack's place, that's where they usually traded.
And where's that?
It's right across the street from us. It's a grocery store near 6th and Magnolia.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Hansen. Is there anything we can do for you?
Doctor says my husband is dead. Anything you can do about that?
No, but we can try to find out who made him that way.
Chief? F. O'Hara?
I got it.
What's the readout?
Chester Hansen, Buster Grant, dug him out of an apartment on the west side, cuddled up with this.
How'd you get a lead on him?
Well, Hansen didn't check home for 2 days. The wife got the angries, called us, gave us Grant's address, and managed to let us in.
Both men dead. Not too pretty, guess. If they drank that swill, it's little wonder.
Doc Snyder over at the hospital says lead salt's poisoning.
Let's get an analysis. Jim, you make the lab.
Yeah.
Give me a jet to D.C. I want an emergency priority for Jim O'Hara.
Activation analysis shows lead salt's content at better than 20,000 micrograms per liter.
Somebody's passing out some very hot bottles, and that's 4 deaths in the past 36 hours. When you were in Washington, local PD picked up 2 more. Transient's been dead a day and a half.
B&M Variety Plastics, Incorporated.
That puts us in the ballpark, and it's major league. B&M operates in 3 states.
We lay a stakeout on the B&M plant.
There's only 2 ways it can go. Either it's a straight sale on the jugs and they'll have records, or else it's an inside job and somebody's working very hard by moonlight.
Well, I'll take odds on your second choice, but right now that's not much comfort.
Petroni. Yeah. When? I see. Yeah, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Jimmy Q at the hospital. They just picked up another one.
Any of our business?
Had an arrival. Lead salts poisoning.
Any lead on the source of the juice?
Negative.
Well, Hanson's wife gave us name and numbers of the shot house where her husband and his pal picked up the stuff. Grocery store across the street from the Hanson house. Owner goes by the name of Billy Jack.
Name rings a bell.
I've done business with him before, just minor ref.
Well, the store's probably closed now. We could go for a search warrant. Now, better sit on it. A small operation like that probably takes regular deliveries. But get some help. Stake it out. Go after the trip boy.
Here's a table and chair. I'll be going along now. But you're welcome to stay and keep an eye out as long as you like. There's some coffee in the kitchen if you want some.
Thank you, Mrs. Hanson.
And if any of my neighbors call, would you tell them I'll be staying at my sister's? And the services will be at Arnold's funeral home on South 5th.
We can arrange to have one of our men drive you if you like.
No, thank you. It's not that far. Besides, a walk will do me good. Just help yourself to anything.
I've seen happier pictures.
You know it. Want some coffee?
Nope, I just want to keep looking.
Here's a shocking piece of news for you. Just a few moments ago, it was announced by Treasury Department officials that the number of deaths in this area within the past 26 hours directly attributable to the drinking of moonshine whiskey has now risen to 6. 6 pointless deaths in little more than one day. We wonder when, if ever, a substantial portion of our populace is going to fully comprehend the real threat of the illegal whiskey industry. When are they going to rid themselves of the concept that it's a charming piece of old Americana, a slice of colorful folklore celebrating the quaintness of the natives of the Great Smokies, the Cumberlands, the Ozarks, and Appalachia? All typified by the lovable, laughable, but damningly mythical image of Snuffy Smith, holding aloft his jug of Mountain Dew, the fabulous elixir, good for what ails you, the mountain folk's secret of long life, and even more sudden death. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is long past time. Now let's get back to some more music.
Amen, Mr. Amen. Hey, 7, you awake?
Roger. Ready to move.
Hey, 11, how about you?
Cruising the area.
I think our milkman's making an early run. That's all units. Stand by. We got some action.
Hey, Billy Jack. Howdy, Billy Jack.
Morning, Beatty.
All right, Tweet, all units. Move out fast. Ralph, you flank him.
Right on him.
Come on, let's pick ourselves a trick.
Hold it! Get out, boy. It's the feds. Pull out! Pull out! Oh, give it up, kid!
okay. You're under arrest for the illegal possession of non-tax-paid whiskey.
Big deal.
Before you say anything, you should understand you have the right to remain silent. You give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Let's just go.
You have the right to speak to an attorney. You have the right to have an attorney present during questioning.
Huh?
If you so desire and can't afford one, an attorney will be appointed for you at no cost before questioning. You understand the charge?
Yeah.
You understand each of the rights I've explained to you.
I get the message.
Let's take a nice, quiet ride.
Cleaned the store, that's all we found. Same marking, B&M variety plastics. How about it, friend?
Well, that's no concern of mine. I peddle groceries.
You also peddle what's inside these jugs. Come off it, Billy Jack. This one's a walloper. 6 people stone cold in the morgue in little more than 1 day. This is no sit-down visit. You've been read your rights. You signed a waiver.
You know, I take that as a downright insult. I mean, about them people dying. Now, Mr. Heffernan knocked me over a few times because I was passing a little moonshine to my friends. Well, okay, I took my licks for that. But never can you ever say that I sold anybody any poison juice. Could I have some of that coffee?
Sure.
Sugar.
Chet Hansen, Buster Grant. They were regular customers. You admit to that.
Oh, could I have a spoon? Look, I don't mind telling you fellas anything, but I can only tell you the truth.
Tell us about Chet and Buster.
Well, they'd visit, sociable once in a while.
A couple days ago?
I don't recall. Could be. They stepped in for a little taste.
For a little taste, wasn't it? You unloaded a gallon jug on them, right out of this same stuff.
Look, I'm taking no blame for what happened to Chet and Buster. You know it for the truth, Mr. Heffernan. I always dealt in first class only. That poison stuff, no, sir.
It was so wholesome, Billy Jack, that Chet and Buster just curled up and died from sheer delight.
That stuff never come from me. They could have picked up a hot jug someplace. Mr. Heffernan, if you'll pardon my saying so, that coffee's not very good.
Oh, sorry about that, Billy Jack. We'll make it better next time. How often you get your shipments?
A shipment? Now, look, you're talking like I had some kind of arrangement.
Now, I know you want to help us, Billy Jack.
I told you. Everything I can.
Suppose you tell us who your wholesaler is.
How about it, friend? Your wholesaler.
That would help, I suppose. I mean, if I had a wholesaler.
You want us to believe that the Trip boy's in business for himself?
Well, now, you all can believe whatever you want to believe.
You've been over this road before, Billy Jack. This ride could be a rough one. Now, tell us about the Trip. Where's he get his supply?
I couldn't say.
You don't know about the stash.
That's the best-kept secret of any operation. You should know that, friend.
Well, how many customers have you had recently for the juice?
Look, you gentlemen are wasting your time. Good, pure, wholesome moonshine. Why, couldn't harm a kitty cat.
I don't know about kitty cats, but there's enough lead salt poisoning in there to kill the healthiest of drinkers if he drank enough.
I've said all I'm going to say. Except maybe one thing.
What's that?
I'd take it kindly if you'd keep it quiet about my being here. I mean, like I ain't going to tell a soul. You know what I mean?
No way we're going to keep it quiet when you come to trial.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. But till then, there ain't no judge I know of can help a man with a bullet in his head.
Let's talk to the Trip boy. What'd you say his name was?
Peter Harper.
Petey. Name's Petey.
All right, Petey. Is this your present address?
Used to be. I moved when my kinfolk died. My aunt. She's all I had.
Sorry. You go to school in Ridgeville?
No. I quit after the 9th grade. Had to go to work.
Get a good job?
I picked up here and there. Mill hand. Did pretty good at trapping skins for a while, too. Look, you said I could have a lawyer.
You know an attorney?
No.
You want us to call one for you?
I guess not. But I got nothing to say.
You don't have to say anything to us. But if that stuff you've been hauling checks out the way we think it will, it'd be the same junk that put 6 people in the morgue.
What are you talking about?
6 people died from drinking moonshine whiskey crawling with lead salts.
Are you kidding me?
I wouldn't kid you.
Well, how'd I know those people was gonna die?
You got anything else to say to us?
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, Mr. O'Hara.
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Now, what were you going to say, Petey?
Well, just supposing now I do go along. How many points do I get for it?
Well, when you go to court, we'll help you as much as you help us.
I don't know.
Line it up. Which way do you want it?
Okay.
Waiver of rights. Says you voluntarily wish to give up the right to remain silent and the right to have an attorney present.
How long you been working your route?
About 3 or 4 months. Just part-time.
And the stash?
Huh?
The stash. Where do you pick up the stuff before you make deliveries?
Oh, I don't know.
Those bottles just jump in the back of your car all by their lonesome?
Listen, if I tell you that, I might just as well leave the country.
Well, I'll tell you, you'll never deliver moonshine again.
Well, I sure feel like I'm committing suicide.
6 people already have.
Yeah. It's a place up on Oak Mountain Road.
Is that where the boss lives?
Usually the place is empty except for the stuff.
You ready to show us?
You're gonna make sure I get some points for it.
Get as many as you earn.
Well, okay.
That's it. You sure no one's inside?
Might unusual if there was. They rent the place, bring in and stash the white stuff. The only times they ever show back is when they bring in a new shipment or take a new trip boy and show them around.
All right, Unit 2, move in, cover the rail. Let's go. These are your keys. Which one fits?
Yeah, that one. Can't you shake it up? I sure feel naked standing here.
This the whole bag?
There's just as much upstairs, maybe more.
B&M Variety Plastics. Case it. You know where they're hauling this stuff, Petey?
Well, you probably know just as much about it as I do.
Listen, my sharp friend, I don't know as much about it as you do because we haven't been there. Now, don't get cute with me. 6 people are stone cold in the morgue, and maybe twice that many are going to go blind or lose their brains because of this stuff you haul. So I want names, addresses, and phone numbers. How about it?
I like your style, Mr. O'Hara. I like it real good. But you asking an awful lot.
You owe an awful lot.
You don't understand. You see, I got this beautiful girlfriend named Martha Elizabeth. We've been going together a long time. Well, Mr. O'Hara, I love her. I really do.
Well, fine. I'm very happy for you. What does that get to do with this?
Because her last name's Tidwell. Martha Elizabeth Tidwell.
Nice name. How does it connect?
Her father is Henry Jackson Tidwell.
You talking about Big Six Tidwell?
One of the biggest moonshine and whiskey operators this part of the country's ever seen.
All this comes from his stills?
Well, not exactly. Some of it comes from a few small stills around our town.
Ridgeville?
Yeah, it's about 8 miles north of Peach Blossom. You know where that is.
You know Big Six, huh?
Yeah, a huge guy, 6'4", 270 pounds maybe. And knocked over a couple of stills a few years back, couldn't get a conviction. What's the setup, Petey? How's Tidwell working this?
Strong arm. He scared a lot of folks into town and are working their stills for him. Got one of his own, big one, 1,000 gallons, maybe more. That's probably where this stuff comes from.
Well, Tidwell have any partners?
People work for him. Of course, he's got his steel hands and steel boss. Big Six. But he's the one and only.
Big still he's operating. Can you lead us to it?
Who, me? I never been there.
But you know where it is.
Listen, fellas, if he ever found out, well, I mean, he can just be the meanest man in the world.
All right, Petey, we're going to take you downtown and book you.
Does that mean Martha Elizabeth's going to find out? Is it going to be in the newspapers and all the stuff like that?
Now, right now, that's the last thing in the world we'd want. Want some more coffee?
Huh? I didn't know that stuff was poison. You understand, don't you?
It all goes down the same, Petey.
Well, maybe Mr. Tidwell don't know it either. I mean, did you ever think of that? Maybe he really don't know.
How much money do you think Big Six takes out of this operation?
Gosh, a sockful, I guess.
Enough so that he wouldn't care whether it was poison or not.
I'll tell you the pure truth. I'm scared, Mr. O'Hara.
Bullet, James Bullet.
Oh, yeah.
You ready to go?
Well, as my old man used to say, it's the first step that's the hard one, boy.
Hey, hang tough. I'll be in touch.
Take care, Jim.
Be sure and get in radio contact with Petoni. There's some coffee.
Yeah, that's something. 22 to base. 22 to base.
A&E's Mystery Theater.
Are we gonna make it work, Petey?
Best thing to do is get you introduced to someone in town. I got a lot of friends there, so... There's one family named Watkins. They got 2 girls. The older one's Jenny Mae. She's about my age. Her sister's called Ruthie Ann, a real little pistol of a 17-year-old. They do most of the work at the family still. I used to go around with Jenny Mae. Nice girl. Sure can't measure up to Martha Elizabeth, though.
How big's the still?
A 1-barrel pot.
That means they run about 5 gallons a day. Big Six handle that small amount?
Who else? Like I say, Mr. Tidwell's got a lock on all the moonshiners hereabouts. Nobody dares cross him.
Anybody try?
Sure did.
What happened?
They got killed.
Well,
Well, thank you, Mr. Bullard. It's a very nice pleasure meeting you. You going to be around here long?
Well, I don't know, Ruthie. It depends on whether I can land a job.
Well, what kind of work do you do?
Mostly what you do, and I think I'd draw a little better pay.
I'll bet. Say, why don't you pay a call on Mr. Big Boss Tidwell? We saw him in town early this morning when we went to draw supplies.
Saw Miss Martha Elizabeth at the general store, too. She was looking sweet ugly as ever. But that's your type, isn't it, Petey?
Oh, Jenny Mae, let's not hack over that again. What's past is past, okay?
You know it's past. Open that one. What are you doing around here anyway?
Just dropped in to say hi and show my friend here the kind of pretty girls we raise.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll cool it down, sister. That's no way to talk in front of a gentleman like Mr. Bullard.
Why don't we make it just plain gin?
That's perfectly good with me, plain Jim. Say, we best get a move on. Gotta help Ma clean up the house. Sure was nice meeting you, plain Jim. Say, there's a big to-do in town Saturday night. Big dance and everything. Why don't you bring plain Jim along, Petey?
Well, I'll mark it down, Ruthie Ann.
You better hurry on into town now and see Miss Fancy Pants Martha Elizabeth.
Oh, Jenny Mae.
See you Saturday night.
What are you so interested in, mister?
When I'm interested, I like my trade.
That's so. Well, you can just go and take your interest somewhere else. We don't like strangers poking around. You hear?
Come on, Jenny Mae.
This just ain't gonna work, Mr. O'Hara.
Bullard.
Yeah, okay. But it's only a matter of time till somebody decides you ain't who I say you are.
He starts blasting away with a 12 gauge?
Or worse.
Well, then we better get to it. Where is that big still?
Look, maybe there's some other way.
No other way, Petey.
It's about an hour's walk from here.
Where do you all think you're going?
Me and my friend come visiting.
What's your name, boy?
Petey Harper.
Oh, yeah, I heard about you. Going with the boss's daughter, aren't you?
I'm a new trip boy for Mr. Tidwell.
You'd like to take a look at the big still.
Nothing to see. Ain't nothing going on now.
You don't mind if we have a look? I heard she was really something.
Guess it won't hurt nothing.
Something. And sir, you're right. She's a beauty, Peter.
Who's this? Youngin's one of Mr. Tidwell's trip boys. One that goes with Martha Elizabeth.
Yeah. Come see how it works, Sonny?
Yes, sir. Me and my friend there. His name's Jim Bullard.
My name's Marsdale. They call me Singlefoot. I boss this still.
Like you're getting ready for a run. How's your mash?
It's a-working. These here still need a little more time. Thank you, Sonny. Okay, now you've seen her. You clear on out.
You're a little behind the times, aren't you?
What do you mean?
An operation like this, you'd expect everything brand new. These radiators must be at least 100 years old. I run this and it works. Mr. Tidwell know what kind of shape she's in?
Mr. Tidwell don't care about nothing so long as I make her go. And if it don't concern him, I don't see how it concerns you.
She'll like to see her cook.
Well, then, you just get yourself an invite for Mr. Tidwell. And clear on out of here, both of you.
Come on, let's go, mister. Jim, let's go.
That was a great one, really great. That's what I call a genuine gut buster. Here, have a cooler.
Picked it up from an old still boss down near Elmo. Thought you might appreciate it.
Don't recollect Elmo.
That's Georgia.
No, thanks. Like I told you, Mr. Tidwell, Jim's from Deep South family friends.
Don't talk much like Georgia, does he, Petey?
Well, I run into a little bit of bad luck. Had to do some work up north. Mr. Tidwell, the way I look at it, it's not so much what a man says, it's what he does.
Took your friend up the big still mighty fast, Petey. How come?
Well, Mr. Tidwell,
I heard it was a 100-sacker. Mighty big. I wanted to work for the big man.
Sit down. Sit down. Come on. Hey, you say you're looking for work. Afraid things are mighty slow right now. Petey ought to know that, seeing as how he was picked up by federal agents.
Well, I was going to explain that to you, Mr. Tidwell.
Wasn't much they could hold him on the way he told it.
That a fact? Well, then why are you here, son? I mean, I think it's smart to play possum, but why'd we tuck tail and run?
Well, Mr. Tidwell.
His car got racked up.
How many of our outlets were hurt, son?
Only Billy Jack's grocery, as far as I know.
And, did you get the names of the revenue men who arrested you?
Well,
Petey, honey! Oh, you trying to hide from me or something? Why didn't you come straight over the store? Goodness me, I was afraid I might never see you again.
It's okay, Muffin.
Hey, who's your good-looking friend, Daddy?
Friend of Petey's, he says.
Hi.
Me and Jim hitched over here together. My car's all busted up.
Oh, you can get another car. Daddy'll take care of that. Come on now. I don't want to hear more talk about nasty old revenue man.
Daughter,
Yes, Daddy?
stay out of trouble, yeah?
Oh, Daddy.
I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Bullard. You do tell a mighty funny story. You say you heard it from a still boss. What's his name?
Slim Johnson. Well, I'd take up so much of your time.
Where you going?
Well, you said things were slow. My stomach starts to growling if I don't give it regular attention.
You know, I like the way you're cut, young fella. Looks like you've been around, too. Now, what is it you want to do?
Boss a good still, make some good money, have a little fun.
Well, I suppose I could find a place for you if you don't mind playing second fiddle.
I'm not hard to please. You need a good hand.
Where? The big still Petey showed you before you came here?
Well, nice to count on a boss job after a while.
No need to rush it. I'll find something to keep you occupied. It's always been my observation that everything turns out sooner or later. One way or the other.
A&E's Mystery.
Looks like you got some kind of job. Old man Tidwell around?
He went home.
And left you in charge, huh? My, ain't he the trustful soul?
Very touching. Forget we got a date to go hunting tonight.
Not me. I got a date with Martha Elizabeth.
Seems to me you already had one.
Yeah. Sweet strawberry. Well, I just dropped in to see how you're doing. See ya.
Hey, cousin. Not gonna let a friend down, are you?
What are you talking about?
Well, friend's word ought to count for something down Georgia way, where I come from. It does. I thought it might count for something around here.
Well, we ain't in your backyard now, cousin.
About time to close out, man.
All right. I'll lock up the back.
2 blasts my 12 gauge. Now you think about that.
Think about the 6 people that died. And how many more turn out to grief because your big daddy fed the ones they loved poison rot gut shine and you helped.
Nobody forced their arms. Nobody made them drink that stuff. All locked up.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you see it my way. Besides, you can make it up to Martha Elizabeth double come the big dance Saturday night. You go ahead and phone her. She'll understand.
Well, you're sure asking an awful lot.
This has to go down fast, Hef. A cold trail the guy Tidwell pinned on me.
You think he made you?
I think he's just playing it close.
Better believe Petroni was on the radio an hour ago. Tidwell checked out your elmo cover, Slim Johnson.
And?
The way Petroni got it, Slim read Tidwell all the right words.
Well, let's hope he bought the words.
Yeah, when he finds out we busted a stash in the city, he's sure to be more than just a little bit suspicious.
He's supposed to be home tonight. The word is he took a ride.
We're going to make this one stick. We got to get him to the steel.
He won't go near that thing.
And there's one hope. Perkins, you got the chemicals?
I'll get them.
It's an hour away. Give him the map.
You got a light?
Yeah, in my pack.
I'll take Petey with me. Give us an hour's head start, pull up stakes, and move out.
Any traps around that big cooker, Jim?
Just a guard with an itchy trigger finger. You ready?
Yep. Well, good. You don't need me no more.
Maybe you'd like to stick around, open the store in the morning.
Mr. Tidwell around.
The reason why I should be?
Well, I went to his house. He ain't been home all night.
He probably went visiting some of those lady friends of his down the valley.
But if you see him, you tell him we're in considerable trouble. The mash has stopped working. I ain't seen nothing like this in years, and Mr. Tidwell don't like delays.
Singlefoot. Nothing. You got me between a fire and a wall. They should have figured out somebody dumped something in that mash. And you being the only stranger in town, then what do I do?
We went hunting, remember?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Martha Elizabeth's going to be a widow before she's a bride. Uh-oh.
Morning.
Well,
tell me.
Well, I stayed with him just like you said, Mr. Tidwell. Except for 3 or 4 hours last night, I lost them. But they come back, like you see.
You say you lost him?
We went hunting. We know you want to come along. You'd have been welcome.
Did a little hunting on my own last night. Went across the line to the big city. Guess what I found out, Petey? Someone knocked over the big stash on Oak Mountain Road. Word is they walked right in, had a key and everything. Now, how do you suppose they come by getting a key? Well, you had a key, didn't you, son?
Yes, sir, but I...
You don't think Petey had anything to do with it, do you?
I'm making my mind up what to think. A big stash gets hit. My best trip boy here gets arrested and comes sashaying in here with somebody who says he's from Georgia but talks Yankee. Telling stories that he heard from a still boss who says he remembers him but in a shaky voice. Now, I'm going to tell you something, boys. You know, these guns sit around long enough without any use. They get a mite dusty. Ain't that so, Petey?
Mr. Tidwell, we come from all supplies.
Not now, girl.
That's not what we come for at all. I've got something to say. You hush up. Mr. Tidwell, just what do you know about this man, this plain Jim?
Oh, just what you know, Jenny May.
I can talk for myself.
Mr. Tidwell, I did some poking around for myself last night, and I found where him and your son-in-law-to-be had been camping out on the hill above our place.
Yeah, we bedded down there for the night.
I told you, sister, you're looking for ghosts. Look, if he's a still operator, then I'm Elvis Presley's best girlfriend.
What do you think about that, Petey boy?
No more than what I already told you. She's right. It's like Jim says. We were up on the hill. We'd hiked quite a while and rested there.
Looked like there'd been more than the two of you up there, Petey.
How do you know?
Oh, she couldn't. Why, it was dark as mud up there. Must have been 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Dragged me out of bed like Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn going down the river or something.
Excuse my saying so, Jenny May, but maybe, you're just trying to get back at Petey by making up a story.
Of course she would. Why, she's so jealous she could spit tap. It isn't so. It is, do so. A nice gentleman like Plain Jim.
Come on, you two. Clear on out of here now. I've got enough going on. But I do thank you, Jenny May, for what you told me.
You don't have to thank me for anything, Mr. Tidwell. But I'd be mighty careful who I was sitting down to supper with if I was you. Just don't pay her no never mind, Plain Jim. I'll see you at the big dance, huh?
A&E's Mystery.
Things don't seem to be adding up for you so well. And even less for you, Petey. I wouldn't like to have to take stern measures with you two, but you don't seem to be giving me much of a choice. Yeah? Yeah, it's Tidwell. Huh? Say that again. Yeah, I understand it. And thanks for calling, you hear? I'll be doggone. You know what I was thinking, Petey? I was thinking that you'd gone and turned on me. You know, I had it all figured out. Your friend here was a revenue man.
You can't be too careful, Mr. Tidwell. There's no counting for how things can turn out.
Well, everything's turning out just fine. Now, that phone call was from a place 40 miles from here. The revenuers are having themselves a field day. They're scooping up all the little family stills. Way over there, 40 miles away. Whee! Sure is a relief, ain't it, son?
Yes, sir, sure is.
I forgot to tell you, Singlefoot was here before you came. Said there's some trouble with the mash.
That's all. Well, don't worry about that. He'll get it all straightened out.
Tidwell, I don't think he's the expert you think he is.
He's had a lot of experience.
Said he's never seen anything like it.
I see, and you feel that you're the boy to set things right.
I'd like to give it a try.
All right. Let's all go take a look-see.
Tidwell, I ain't seen nothing like this in 40 years.
Brought along an expert, Singlefoot. You are an expert, ain't you, Jim boy?
Well, I shagged down a few problems in my time.
Well, I seen you got yourself an invite. But I don't need any help from any so-called come-lately expert.
But somebody assaulted this mash.
No, sir, ain't not a chance. Been keeping careful watch over.
I'll tell you one thing, those old radiators could be mighty dangerous.
We are talking about the mash, Mr. Expert.
Mr. Tidwell knows about old radiators. Been repaired so often, they got lead in them. If you use them as condensers, you're going to end up with lead salts in your moonshine.
Suppose you just tell us about the mash. Now, come on, boys, gather around while Jim boy here shags down this little problem for us. Where you going, son?
Nowhere, Mr. Tidwell.
Jim boy, she's all yours.
I think maybe we better dump this whole batch, Mr. Tidwell. Just ain't no good. I've done so before, except you pinching pennies, like with them radiators.
Get off my back about them things. You know, Petey, it still troubles me about how them revenue officers got a key to the stash house.
I guess that would be a nice thing to know.
All right, get your hands in your head. ATF, U.S. Treasury.
You do this to your own kind, Petey?
Singlefoot.
Playing possum, Jim.
Listen, Mr. Revenue man, you lay down them pea shooters and clear out, you hear? And don't make me no never mind which one of you I kill. Not another step forward. Lay down them guns.
Shag this down, expert.
Let's talk about those radiators.
You can talk all you want to, but it ain't gonna change a thing.
You're right. It won't bring back those 6 people that died from the lead salts those radiators put in your moonshine.
You're lying. Nobody ever died from drinking my shine. You're lying about them people dying.
You'd believe Petey Harper, wouldn't you? He was in the city. He knows.
You're gonna believe him? The boy's been in cahoots with him. Has been all along.
Yeah, and that's why, Mr. Tidwell. Cause those people being dead. Mr. O'Hare's telling the truth. The pure truth.
Don't give him no listen, yeah?
That single-footed man has his pride, hasn't he? All his life he does something. He wants to do it better than the other man. Mr. Tidwell came along and spoiled that for you, didn't he? Now, didn't he?
70 years. 70 years I've been cooking me shine, man and boy. I got me a reputation. A real reputation. I told you about them there radiators and you had to go and pinch your pennies. Me, I begged you. Me, Singlefoot, begged you. I'm real sorry for you other boys, but you couldn't help it. Neither could I. 70 years. Well, I've had my 70. You get his face out of here. His stupid, dirty, penny-pinching face out of my sight before I kill you.
All the years you ate from my table.
Now take them out and read them their rights.
Don't ever look to me again for nothing.
Come on, let's go.
Thanks for your help, Petey.
Sure.
But what's going to happen to all this?
After we get the evidence we need, it'll be destroyed.
Oh, well, it's only right and proper.
Tomorrow, from Al Capone to Lucky Luciano, find out what it was like to be a part of the most notorious street gangs on an all-new American Justice. Now, angels over his head in the underworld in the Rockford Files, next on A&E.
Call St. John's, get an ambulance.
Tom Claybert, Doc. ATF.
I am.
No, thanks.
Scott, DOA St. John's. So what's the story on the gun? Who made it? Now, come on, it's not in the book. Where'd you get it? Oh, the stupidity, your thing? Now, who made the gun? Where'd you get it? Are there any more at home like it? Now, we're gonna find out with or without you, Davis.
Hey, but you read me my rights. I dig. Some questions, okay, I'll cooperate. But forget about the machine gun. Just talking about it can get me killed.
Now, you and your partner, Scott, were trying to make the big time. Had enough explosives in that warehouse to advance noise pollution a generation.
You got all you need.
You're not gonna help Scott now. So why don't you play it smart, Davis? A machine gun. Where'd you get it?
Get me a lawyer. Then get lost.
Scott and Davis, no priors. They must have moved up fast. They were playing with the big kids. That bus broke a delivery of 500 pounds of high explosives to the boys in Cleveland and Detroit.
Well, it's possible that Scott and Davis got the machine gun through a connection. I mean, Davis laid it out for us. Just talking about the gun could get him killed.
It was a good bust, Jim.
I'd feel better if we could take some of the question marks off of it.
National Office advises that a gun similar to this was submitted to us for classification back in 1949. XW1. Does that suggest anything?
Army Weapons Command, Rock Island Arsenal.
How would you like to get yourself a good night's sleep, Jim? And head for Rock Island in the morning.
I'll sleep in the plane. I'll be in Rock Island in the morning.
Yes, I remember this gun. I remember it very well. Experimental Warner #1. I wanted to buy it for the Army, but I got overruled. Because I was young then, right after the big war. I was also wrong. Corporal Jacks, pull out a file in XW1. August Werner.
August Werner.
Yeah, German immigrant. One of the finest gunsmiths of his time, which was a generation ago. Yeah, Warner designed this model machine gun for the Army 23 years ago.
23 years?
Come in. See what we have here. XW1, prototype model, delivered Small Arms Lab, Springfield Arsenal, November 21st, 1949. Rejected 9mm. Being European, Warner used the metric system.
And the Army was geared for 30 caliber.
The entire system in those days. Of course, today it's different, because we're on the metric system.
Then he was simply ahead of his time.
Yeah. The Springfield Lab had a similar project already in hand. There's another problem. Only about maintenance difficulties. Oh, here it is. After sustained bursts of fire, the XW1 jams. Also, any foreign matter in the receiver makes it necessary to clean the receiver immediately before it'll operate again.
Colonel, that gun does not jam. ATF checked it thoroughly.
And somebody redesigned the receiver mechanism.
Werner?
I doubt it. He went back to the drafting board with it. Never could lick it. He was a great old man. He turned over the prototype to us along with the tools and dies. He said if he couldn't make a contribution to America, he'd be damned if he'd make it to any other country.
Colonel, that's a new gun. No sign of pitting, corrosion. No sign of age at all. What happened to the original gun Werner made for you?
Destroyed. Prototype, tools, dies, the works. At the direction of the Judge Advocate General. His patents couldn't be cleared through the United States Patent Office. Werner had no patents, therefore he couldn't assign rights. So to avoid any future multi-million-dollar claims, the destruction was certified.
Thank you, sir.
Congressional Office reports that duplicates of the Werner machine gun have surfaced in 8 states. Our people raided a warehouse in Carson City and found 22 Werner machine guns stashed in empty oil drums. New York, Illinois, New Jersey. Somebody, somehow, has put the Werner prototype machine gun into production.
Which means that someone has duplicated the tools and dies and redesigned the receiver mechanism. You get a rush of guns now with the militant fanatics, both right and left, and the criminal element, all panning for automatic weapons. We can end up with a plague.
Army Weapons Command got us an address on August Werner. Houseboat, Selby Marina. Well, there's no point in spelling it out. Jim's right. We can't afford an epidemic of automatic weapons. First thing you know, the mob would be moving in to distribute them, and things would really get out of hand. Now, anybody that deals in illegal weapons needs just 2 things. First, the guns, and then customers. Jim, you're a customer.
Legal or illegal?
Whichever's best for us.
I'd say legal.
A licensed dealer.
With an operation this size, I'm going to need a cover to match. Someone licensed by the government to buy and export firearms. And that way I can dangle a giant-sized carrot in front of their noses.
We'll put your ID in the works. O'Hara is undercover to contact August Werner. Michaels, you set up a team to back up Jim here. Joe, you set up relief for Michaels. Talbot, you establish a command base at headquarters. A radio and telephone drop. Maybe tomorrow morning, Jim, you'd like to stake out that marina.
You're the one going out on a limb. Here, in case that limb breaks off. Those boys don't take many chances, Jim. They might give you a few friendly pats and find it.
I thought about where they might pat and where they might not. And I came up with this. Now, when Carl Thorpe and I part company, it can be a fast goodbye. Thanks, Ed. Mr. Werner? August Werner?
Have we met before?
No, sir. My name is, Thorpe. Carl Thorpe.
Did you make all of these? Yes. It's my hobby now, since I'm retired. Although sometimes I sell some of them to my friends on the boat when they want something for their grandchildren's name day.
That's very interesting.
Thank you. It's not finished yet. It needs some polishing. Now, what can I do for you, Mr.
Thorpe, Carl Thorpe.
Thorpe?
Understand you're a gunsmith.
A master gunsmith. But it was a long time ago. Now I'm just a master toy maker, or I should say a master souvenir maker. Can't be.
What can't be?
This is a duplicate of a gun I designed for the United States Army Ordnance 23 years ago. Except this, the receiver. That isn't mine. Somebody has... Where did you get it?
One of my subcontractors got it from a contact in Toledo. We traced the workmanship to you.
You can't own it. It's illegal.
I'm a licensed exporter. If that gun is in production, I'm interested.
But that's impossible. All the tools and dies were destroyed.
We have an unsolved mystery. No tools, no dies, no gun. However, there is a gun with the receiver redesigned.
No question.
To do that, someone must have had access to the blueprints.
Impossible. They were destroyed, too, by my... No. But my son wouldn't.
Your son wouldn't what, sir?
I retired 10 years ago. My son operates my little machine shop. It's his now.
Well, could the blueprints be there?
Either there or he disposed of them. They were always kept in a safe. John would never be careless with them. They are too important.
Well, the fact is that someone somehow put this gun into production. Can we talk to your son?
Beats me, Pop. Looks like that gun that you gave to the Army.
You still have the blueprints, John?
No, I fed those to the incinerator 5-6 years back. You remember, Pop, when I was remodeling the back room of the shop. Got rid of a ton of junk.
But this is not my prototype. Somebody else made it. Even though he designed part of it.
Well, this is the man that brought it to you. Where'd you get it?
One of my subcontractors bought it from a man in Toledo.
Well, then that's the man you should be talking to.
We bought all he had, one gun. I'm interested in quality. But in my line, the principal ingredient is quantity.
Oh, those foreign countries you work for, huh? Well, I'm afraid you're banging on the wrong door, friend. You're just wasting your time.
I don't look at it that way. A man finds something he wants, he's a fool or a vegetable not to look for more.
Well, if that philosophy pays the bills, I guess it's as good as any. Edie, you haven't met my father. Pop, this is Edie Lang.
Mr. Werner, it's a pleasure.
And this is Mr. Thorpe.
How do you do?
Carl Thorpe.
How do you do? Excuse me.
I bet you helped decorate this house, Miss Lang. It's got a nice, clean touch. Not heavy as a man would do it.
Well, thank you very much. But you really can't ignore Johnny's contribution now. He paid the bills.
Oh, Johnny has always been a good boy. He would make a good husband, Miss Lang.
Bob, she doesn't need any character references.
Anyway, Mr. Thorpe, this must be just a coincidence. Somebody whose mind is a mirror to me duplicated my work.
That's a long shot, Pop.
I came to America with nothing. Nothing but my hands, my brains, and my love. But how grateful I was to be accepted here.
You never lost those rose-colored glasses, did you, Pop? Not even with my mother lying in her casket. 35 years old. She looks 75.
Your mother believed in my work.
Oh, yeah? That supporting it killed her. They took advantage of you, Pop. You, Mom, me. Oh, excuse me. I got to go to trade school.
It didn't hurt you. You make a good living.
Are you a member of the club, Mr. Thorpe? Did you come from a deprived childhood?
Yes, when I was growing up, there was no summer or spring, only winter. 10 feet of snow. I had to walk through it.
I think my son and I owe you an apology.
Well, Mr. Thorpe was just telling us we were boring.
Not us, baby, just you.
What are you going to do with that?
Well, I have no use for just one gun. I have legal customers, an export license. I need quantity. Mr. Werner, Miss Lang.
Mr. Thorpe. Where are you staying?
Sands Point.
Let's have a drink one of these days.
When?
I'll give you a ring.
the soup doing?
Okay, I guess.
One of these nights, it's gonna be something besides vegetable.
Well, next time I make it alphabet soup, maybe I'll learn how to spell.
Fella like you ought to have a woman do this kind of thing for him.
You check it out with your boss and GSA. I won't object.
The hours you keep, the life you lead, the only female that'd put up with you would be one of them women livers, in which case I'd still be making soup for you. I think it's warm enough now.
Yeah, you never married, did you?
No. Never found a woman who could cook and clean better than me. That's a nasty looking thing, son. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Jim. Gee whiz. There, that's not so bad, is it? There you go.
That's all right. Guns make a lot of people nervous, Ab.
Still, might not be more dangerous than the wrong woman.
Believe it, this one is. Mr. Warner, this is Carl Thorpe. I just called to tell you that I'm leaving for New York. I guess we won't be able to have that chat after all unless you can squeeze me in between now and flight time.
Oh, sorry. I've got meetings all day. But it's a shame. You know, mutual hobbies can sometimes be mutually profitable.
Mr. Werner, I'm a businessman. If you're trying to tell me something, be more specific.
Mr. Thorpe, you called me, remember? Well, maybe you'll be back this way again sometime.
Oh, I don't think so. After New York, I take a swing through Europe and then North Africa.
That's too bad. Might have been pleasant.
Miss Lang?
Are you always so formal? My name is Edie.
Okay, Edie.
Got a minute? I'd like to talk to you.
Talk?
Johnny doesn't trust you.
We don't do business on trust. I ask how much for how many. My clients deliver the product to point A, I deliver the cash to point B. That's the way it's done. We don't waste time on the weather or baseball scores.
Well, you're cool. But honestly, I don't know if Johnny has any...
We call it product.
Any product for sale.
When you find out, drop me a postcard.
Look, Johnny trusts me, and if he has product, I can persuade him to trust you and deal with you.
Why are you being so nice to me?
For 5%, Mr. Thorpe.
That you'll have to take up with your Johnny boy.
Not 5% of what you pay him, 5% of what your customers pay you. And Johnny has product.
How much product?
Enough, I think.
You think?
I know.
How much? How much product? How many units? Hundreds? Thousands?
He can produce anything you want.
Enough to outfit an army? I don't think so.
Well, believe it.
A hidden factory?
Discuss that with Johnny.
I tried that.
Well, he wasn't sure of you.
So he sent you?
So he sent me. And remember, Mr. Thorpe, I can turn Johnny towards you, or I can turn him towards someone else.
For 5%?
For 5%.
Edie, let me tell you something. I don't get paid unless I deliver. If something happens between here and my customers, I eat a bundle.
Well, I have to trust you. It's a real bargain.
Another thing, I don't need partners, and I don't need this cloak and dagger intrigue. I'll say it once. If you want a meeting, I'll cancel my flight, we'll make a deal.
You're a lucky man, Mr. Thorpe. You travel all over the world on yachts with the people that run things, the best of ladies. You probably don't even count your money anymore, do you? Just weigh it.
My accountants handle it. There are good years and bad years.
But I think 5% of your worst year, I could probably live like my dreams.
I'm running late.
Cancel your flight, and we'll get back to you.
Stay with it.
Martin. Mr. Lester Martin would like to talk to you, Mr. Thorpe.
I don't know any Lester Martin.
Mr. Martin would like to change that. You can follow us in your car. You can take a cab. Or you can be our guest.
Pleasure, Mr. Thorpe. Please. Would you like a drink?
No, thank you.
Cigar, perhaps?
No, thanks.
Now, let's get to it. Straight to business, eh? Skip the irrelevant amenities. I like that. You're an independent munitions dealer. You're here to find guns, specifically from Johnny Werner.
He's been looking through the right keyholes.
Boys, give us a couple of moments, will you? What do you think of Johnny Werner?
Is that important?
Well, it could be. I've purchased some guns from him before, a few at a time, which is all I need, really. Even Chicago, New York, and Detroit only order him in lots of, 25 or 50 at a time. You know, I tried to buy him out a couple of times, because I don't like to depend on him. But he's stubborn, and we've yet to find out any really great details of his operation. So we may have to live with him for a while. We. I'm sorry. The reason I'm going through all this is I'm a firm believer that business associates should be fully informed about each other from the start.
You know all about me.
I know you're an independent munitions dealer who operates on his own and takes his own financial risks.
You know a bank that'd back my business?
Mr. Thorpe, my associates and I buy banks with our pocket change.
You're going to throw a few nickels my way.
I want to financially back you and Johnny Werner. I intend to create an efficient, prosperous flow of automatic weapons whose numbers should astound you.
Yeah, I see the picture.
Pretty, isn't it? We use my cash and influence, your legitimate license and contacts. I don't have to remind you of the growing demands in this country now for weapons, huh?
Well, that is very interesting. It is also very dangerous.
So is everything with large numbers.
You told me Johnny Werner wouldn't play along.
Greed, my friend, will tip the scales.
And greed has dug more graves than shovels.
I like that.
You can have it.
We'll handle his entire output exclusively. You and I will be full and equal partners.
That is the second partnership I've been offered today.
I guarantee you, Mr. Thorpe, mine has a lot more zeros attached to it.
All right, you got 2/3 of a deal. Get Johnny Werner in line. We'll talk.
Lester Martin is organized crime's #1 man on the West Coast. He has 2 felony convictions, is generally armed. Does Martin really intend on buying out Werner or eliminating him?
Yeah, he'll do what's necessary. He'll make a legitimate, generous offer. He's betting on Werner's greed.
That's never a very long shot, is it?
Just how long, we'll see. There's a message at the hotel he wants to meet.
Send her to Carl Thorpe. Dan Sykes.
Well, what is it? It's just that, Well, let's hear it, Dan. I mean, we're friends here. Business friends, that is. Well, everything's set for tonight. I've got confirmations from the Midwest Group in New York.
Traveling first cabin, huh? Thanks, Dan.
Well, your schedule wasn't as rigid as you thought.
You called me. You wanted to talk business, so I canceled my flight. Now I'm waiting to see if I'm wasting my time.
Oh, I got product, Thorpe. Believe it.
I told you I could persuade Johnny, didn't I, Mr. Thorpe? Wasn't that worth 5%?
You want to run that by for me one more time?
Come on, Johnny. I just made a pitch for 5%. It's from him, not from you.
Evie, go to the head of the class.
Thank you.
Larceny in a beautiful woman is a warm flaw, don't you think?
Okay. Go take a swim.
Your subcontractor in Toledo. Who did he buy that gun from?
Guy in a bar by the name of Joe. Guy in the back alley didn't have any name at all. You lose your amateur standing in this business. You learn when to memorize names, Numbers, when to forget them.
Okay. But how did you trace it from Toledo to my father's houseboat?
I've got contacts.
You went to the Army?
Why not? I have a federal firearms license.
Issued by Uncle ATF.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's correct.
Well, the Army threw that gun back in my father's face, but he's going to have his moment of glory, whether he wants it or not. See, because I kept the blueprints, and I modified the receiver mechanism, and I made the new tools and dies.
You put the Warner prototype into production. Now, can you deliver quantity?
I could supply the whole U.S. Army if I wanted to. But that's my father's bag, not mine. Look, the gun's in production, so let's talk business. Now, I've arranged for a demonstration of the Werner machine gun tonight at 9:30. You be here.
You're not here?
Just be here.
I don't suppose I could see the guest list.
Well, there'll probably be some buyers from Detroit and from Chicago. Maybe a couple from New York, but I forgot their names. Any objections?
I'm all for a free, competitive market. See, my customers need a dependable supply of firearms for when there's shooting in the palace or a rumble at the border. They can't go to a pawn shop and get the Saturday night special. What I mean is, can you deliver quality and quantity?
Well, all anybody's going to see tonight is quality. One gun, and I test fire it. After we make our deals, then you'll see quantity, Thorpe. All you can pay for.
Why the operation in 2 stages?
Yeah, I don't take chances. I get busted for possession of one machine gun, I can survive. But the Treasury grabs those dies and those lathing machines and those stockpiled weapons, and I'm gone for 20 years. And that's the final bust.
9:30 tonight.
Or we use my car. Just some friends of yours. Why don't you say hello?
I don't know this guy.
He's a potential customer. Mr. Thorpe, meet Mr. Martin.
Hello, Petey.
Hiya, kid.
How's Ruby?
Oh, they still call her Queen of the Bronx. At least I still do. Hey, you know we got 2 kids in college? How about that?
Hello, Milty.
Hi, Marty. Like the climate on your new job?
Yeah, sure. I like the job. Of course, part of that job is buying guns. For distribution throughout the country.
Yeah, we know.
All right, gentlemen, showtime. The base price, gentlemen, is $400 per unit. Cash. Now, you've all heard about this gun. Some of you have already seen it. It is now available in limited quantity. And I'll accept orders in lots of 100.
100? What do you think we got in mind, World War IV?
Well, your families are set up to control big sections of the country. Now, those areas are going to need distributors.
When you talk about distributorship, you talk about me.
There'll be no sales pitch. This gun will speak for itself.
Can we look at the merchandise?
Sure. Right after Mr. Thorpe.
I can use 100, Werner. There's 40,000 in here.
afraid you didn't understand, Martin. You see, when I said the base price was $400, well, that was the starting point. Now, from this level, I'll accept bids.
No, I'm afraid you don't understand. There'll be no bidding. 40,000 is the top figure for 100.
I'm open for bids, gentlemen. Who wants to see the guns first? Well, it's the only way to determine a fair price. Law of supply and demand. I got the supply, and I'll make the demand.
Very good, except there's one thing you forgot. We're all from the same company, maybe different branches, but there's no way you can get us to cut our own throats here. Now, there'll be no bidding. The price is set at a flat 40,000. Now, you keep your mouths shut. And that goes for you too, Thorpe.
What am I bid, New York?
41,000.
Chicago?
42.5.
Cleveland?
43.
Shut up, I said!
45.
Who are you bidding for, friend?
Let's just say I'm independent.
Look, I told everybody there'd be no more bidding.
Well, now, wait a minute, Martin. What did we come out here for, then? To watch you perform?
Petey, you know I got the contract for distribution. I got the okay from the commission. You know that, Petey.
Yeah, I know that, sure. But, you know, we're neighborhood boys, and we like to handle our own action, you know, our own way, you know, like the old days. Of course, you can complain to the commission if you want to.
Well, maybe I won't have to do that, Petey, yeah? Maybe I won't have to do that.
All right, I got 45. 45. Do I hear 47.50?
You got 47.50.
I'll wait till the next shipment. When'll that be?
Oh, you'll be notified.
Thank you very much for wasting my time. Don't worry.
We'll work our deal out tomorrow.
If there is a tomorrow for you, you know who you've been pushing around in here?
Oh, come on, Thorpe. The mob are businessmen today. They're after that legitimate image.
Mr. Warner? You too, Mr. Thorpe.
Very good. People use their hands because they can't think with their heads.
They just cool it, Thorpe, huh?
You just dissolved our partnership.
This clown could have shut down our shop before we even got it started.
Buddy time, huh? You guys been double-teaming me right from the top.
If I could borrow a quote from Mr. Thorpe. Greed digs more graves than shovels, my friend. And you've just dug yours.
Thinking big is fine, Werner. If you think clearly, you aren't.
Yeah, well, the tools and the dies, the stockpile of weapons, who owns them? That's as clear as I need to think. See, because they're mine. Courtesy of my father's inventive genius in the U.S. Army. Mine.
Well, you're going to tell us where all those goodies are, my friend, you see, or these amiable lads here are going to beat it out of you. And then who are you going to tell about that, huh?
Well, we've got a workable deal. Don't blow it. We've got a supply of guns. We'll establish a fixed, reasonable price. You're the cash flow. Influence in the right places if we need it. I'm a legitimate dealer with foreign customers. Now, let's see what we can salvage out of this deal before we walk away.
Werner's out and he stays out. I don't do business with fools.
You little tramp.
Don't forget to add expensive, Johnny.
Well, your crystal ball seems to be working pretty good, Thorpe. You don't seem surprised at all.
No, I'm not. When you offered me a deal, I told you I'd already been offered one that day. And you told me your proposal was more interesting. There's only one way you could have known that. Your girlfriend must have clued you in.
Well, I've always been a good judge of talent. I like smart partners.
Or a dull Matahari. She came to my hotel room tonight. She wanted to know how much my people would fade you with.
And also to find out what 5% of that amount was.
Thanks. But you still don't know where Werner has stockpiled his machine guns or where he makes them.
No, but he's going to tell us. He'll be very cooperative. He'll speak very clearly.
Just one thing, Mr. Martin. My people are interested, but they have made stipulations.
Stipulations? No, she stays.
All right, we want a peaceful, inconspicuous operation. No massacres, no shootouts, no competitors, and lead boots.
Sure. We'll set up operation overseas, in other countries, and we'll respect their local customs.
I'm going to make a deal with Werner. You're going to pick up half the tab.
Well, why should I pay for something I'm getting for nothing?
But if you kill him, that makes me an accessory. And I don't play by those ground rules.
What makes you think he'll trust you?
Let's see. It's time to make a deal, Werner.
You got nothing to bargain with, Thorpe.
Martin can pound the information out of him.
So what's your offer?
Courtesy United States Treasury, a chance to go on living.
ATF.
Give us the address of your factory. We'll protect you until we move in. I'll tell Martin to not lay a finger on you until we've checked your story. You got some rights, Werner, the right to go on breathing.
It's a lockdown on First Avenue and Dempster Street. A place called Ridley's.
They got everything we need. Leave him here until we see if he's telling the truth.
I'll spot check a few of them now.
You know, if I knew who your customers were, I wouldn't need you, would I?
United States Treasury, ATF. me the rest of it. I know, but what about... Oh, yeah, him too. I know, but I got you.
If I say all the right things in court and I cooperate with everybody, what's it worth?
Well, in the long run, a lot more than 5%. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I got it. I got him, thanks. Well, some kind of a night's work, Jim. We'll wrap it up. From the names and the addresses that Dan got from Werner's file, it should be mighty impressive. Why don't you get yourself some sleep? Mr. Werner. I'm sorry. What do you say to a man whose son you just arrested? And what do you say to me?
I don't know. I don't know.
Mr. Werner, you think I might drop by and see you sometime?
Why would you want to do that?
I'd just like to.
Next on A&E, sparks fly long before opening night in Noel Coward's Star Quality, starring Susanna York and Ian Richardson. Next.
Lousy nag. But I got a sure thing in the fifth.
Sure you have.
Just a bad day, that's all. This is a sure thing. Eve's apple.
You want a deal?
Eve's apple. 8-1 and she's ready. Get a C note on her, Harry.
I asked you if you wanted
Now,
the deal.
Harry.
I think I'm going to have to push fast to keep up with your losses.
You haven't pushed anything yet.
You said you had a new connection. Don't tell me you're holding.
I will have. Tonight, 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's a nice neighborhood.
Just say, Mr. Wilcox, do you have a private phone I can use? 8-1. This one's got to win. This one's got to win.
Mr. Wilcox, you got a private phone I could use?
Shoot the roll. Cover it, come on. Come on, Seven. Ha! Little Joe. Come on, you little sweetheart.
Come on, Seven.
More? In a moment. Come on, little Joe. Come to me. Hey. Hi, come, little sweetheart.
More.
Will you get off my back? Little Joe. Come on, little Joe. Come on, little Joe. The hard way. 2 and 2. 7 hours. I mean, that's really lousy luck. I mean, really. What? At the track after you left, I hit the 5th, 6th, and 7th race on the nose.
And you blew it all on the 8th.
Well, win some, lose some.
When's the last time you won anything?
All right, Harris, all right. Did you bring the cash?
Let's take a look first. What about him?
Wilcox? Deaf, dumb, and blind. 75G, guaranteed queer. Come on, let's have the 5,000.
No deal.
Come again?
If stuff is as lousy as that stuff you tried to stick me with last week.
With a $5,000 limit, it's as good as you'll get anywhere.
You said there was a $5,000 limit.
Now, we have a deal, friend.
You get a little better merchandise and we'll do business, friend.
How much business?
It goes high as $1 million.
Are you kidding me? You got 150,000?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then why the penny ante? Come on.
That's just for openers. You find yourself a new printer. You know where to reach.
United States Treasury, Secret Service. We have warrants. Come out with your hands behind your head. Let's go.
Cover the back. The green, back at the pool hall. I paid $300 for it. And my car.
You want to go back and get it?
What are we going to do? I'm tapped out.
At least you're not in the can.
Couldn't we check in someplace and think things over?
You do that. I'm checking out right now. He travels fastest who travels alone.
Meaning?
Meaning they're looking for 2 men.
You got traveling money. I told you I'm tapped out.
All right, here's 50. Do us both a favor. Get lost.
I got a better idea. We get lost together. Looks like we're in the clear.
Yeah, for the while.
Now, level. You got 150,000 real.
When I need it?
I can deliver. $1 million. Oh, the best paper.
I'm the Secretary of the Treasury.
Now, you said we had to blow town. It's out of town.
Yeah, come merchandise. Rick.
$1 million buy. Guaranteed top quality, I'm telling you.
Yeah, who makes it? Where is it? And how can you guarantee anything?
Well, it's in, To New Orleans. That's all I can tell you now.
How soon can you get your hands on it?
I can't. I mean, not here.
You got something against telephone?
We got to pick it up there.
All we have to do is get to New Orleans, huh?
I know a way. A small air service. It will cost, though.
And I'm the banker.
Well, you got $5,000 on you. Invest some of it. Or are you in the habit of passing up a sure thing?
Be some kind of dummy, wouldn't I, if I backed any play of yours after tonight?
How did I know the feds were going to come to the party? Okay, so maybe I read Wilcox wrong, but this is different, Jim. This is big and beautiful. You think I've always been a loser? I was up there once. High enough to give most guys a nosebleed. It'll pay off, I know it will. I'll kick back your grand out of my cut after we bring it off. What do you say?
Where's this air service again?
Up the coast, maybe 60 miles from here. Just outside of Brayton, a small airfield.
I got a feeling I'm going to regret it, but go ahead.
Give you some change. What a phone call.
When you call him, tell him to be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Come on.
And after you call him, you hit the road. We're going to travel separately until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And when you pick up a ride, give him your ear, not your lip.
See ya, partner.
Jonesy, you drive good truck.
Anytime, Jim.
Al, that sunbust you almost didn't pull off tonight.
What's the expression? You gotta be good to be that bad? But was it worth the effort?
Yeah, he claims to be wired to a source of top-quality counterfeit in New Orleans.
Oh, then we guessed right. Now maybe you can fill in some of the missing answers in Moore's packet. Compulsive gambler, suspected counterfeit connections in New Orleans.
Where the good green grows.
Where's the next stop?
A little airfield outside of Brayton. Then a charter to New Orleans.
We'll get the hull numbers off the plane and have a team pick you up at the other end.
It's $1 million buy. I'm gonna need 150,000 of Uncle's currency. Properly inventoried and marked.
New Orleans can get it for you, but you'll have to improvise from there.
And Moore's gonna be hitchhiking to Brayton.
We'll give him a ride or a loose tail, courtesy of Treasury.
You know, one thing in Moore's packet that sticks in my mind?
Yeah?
Reason for leaving New Orleans unknown.
To think you weren't going to show.
The plane here yet?
See a minute.
Everything set?
The pilot says our flight plan calls for one refueling stop. Here's our route. Had your breakfast?
No.
Yeah, I put it on the tab. $2 more. Any problems?
Now tell me about New Orleans.
I made a mistake. Just once. Tried a wrong parlay, a horse and a woman.
Wrong horse, wrong woman.
There's nothing wrong with a woman. I wanted to do things for her. She was expensive. What a gal.
More ways than one, huh?
Just didn't work out.
Somebody cut off your action?
Someone big, the biggest. All I needed was one stake. I stick myself with his money and got caught.
Hey, you're still alive.
She fixed that. Trade deal, winner take all. I got to leave town.
Say you did business with the big man. Who is he?
You wouldn't know him.
Run that again, will you? We're gonna do business with a man who booted your tail out of town, a man you can't even get on the telephone, a man who's long on grudge.
You're the answer. $1 million deal is going to buy me a corner on forgiveness.
Just like that.
Oh, no, I've got to play my cards right. But I got a feeling, Jim, My luck's about to change. See. $1,000 advance. My luck's changing already. Hey, taxi!
You two gentlemen going into town?
You're fated, friend.
Where to, gents?
Just somewhere with a bath. 116 Pier Street.
Pier Street? You're putting me on.
Suppose you do the driving and leave the talking to us, okay?
Okay, but I know a nice little place on Avalon. Rent's reasonable.
I'll say it again. 116 Pier Street.
Special about fish.
Jim, we're working my territory now. You're going to have to trust me.
I know. The feeling you're going to the $100 window with your eye on a long shot. Only it's me and not my money you're laying on the line. Okay.
Take care of the taxi. I'll check us in. And don't worry, you can put her on my tab.
Special Agent Hale. Contact number's inside. Looks like a long-distance number, but it isn't. It bypasses the switchboard. Codename Manny Lucas.
And I'll say, Harris. If I can talk, Jim Harris, if someone's listening.
Money's ready anytime you call for it.
Jim?
You gotta be kidding.
My territory, remember?
This is it. Now, no cooking in the room. And no throwing bottles out of the window. And no lady visitors after midnight.
And no information.
I never even seen y'all. But you can call me Agnes Howlett. Because that's my name.
How much?
$75 a week, and in advance. Bathroom down the hall. Clean towels twice a week. Telephone on the wall.
How about room service?
Yeah. How's about that? Oh.
Well, we had it better in the alley.
It's the last place they look for us.
It depends on what you're talking about, pigs or rats. But we're here to make a contact.
We did, and we'll make it. I just want to make sure they don't know I'm back before they know why. I have to make a phone call.
Why from a hole like this?
This is where I was born, Jim.
Right here in this building?
The same thing. I was only a few hours old when I moved in, according to the records. It used to be an orphanage.
You here long?
Yeah. When people come over to adopt a kid, we used to lay bets on which one they pick first. You know, an apple, if we could steal one, or a broken pocket knife. Anything but money. There wasn't any of that. I never did make it. When I was 13, I split.
Go down and check out the bathroom. You make telephone call.
hello. Miss Diane Laszlo, please. Well, where can I reach her? This is an old friend. No, just ask her to call this number. 861-5123. No name. I want to surprise her.
As long as we're waiting for that telephone call, maybe I better go out and get something. I need a sandwich.
No, Jim. And nothing to do with trust. Just you could get hurt walking around this neighborhood.
I could starve to death, too. Who'd you call?
Somebody to get things moving.
Well, maybe the organization has changed since you left.
No way. Hello.
Well?
Wrong number. I hope. Hello. Yes, darling. Yes. What? Okay, thanks. We got to get out of here.
That's a pleasure.
No, it's no joke. Somebody recognized my voice. They're coming over.
But you wanted to make contact.
Not like this. There used to be a back way out of here. Come on.
Going somewhere, Rick?
Arnie, Zig. How's it going, huh? What's up? It's been a long time, huh?
Not long enough.
Oh, now, wait a minute, fellas. I can explain. It's okay.
Sure. Now, let's go.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your friend?
Cool it, wise guy. Okay, move.
Now, look, Arnie. What you doing that for?
From here in, you're flying on instruments, all right? Nothing to worry about. Now you. There you go. Let's go.
Smile, we're on television.
Hello, Rick.
Ham, listen. All of you, Doc, Art. I didn't mean for it to happen this way. The phone call, that was going to be a test balloon to find out if you were interested in the deal I brought you. If you weren't, I was going to split. In town and out, fast, like I was never here. No harm, right?
Wrong. You're still a loser. If you'd called us from the coast, we could have saved all of us an ordeal.
You haven't heard my deal. He wants to make $1 million buy.
Him?
Have to forgive the way I look. We've been traveling light.
And fast, I hear, after you almost got busted.
You know about that?
We knew every move you made since the day you left here, including your $800 plane ride.
The bus was a frame.
That's still no reason for you to come running back here.
And that's probably my fault. I got burned by the feds in that raid. There's one familiar face too many to leave around for them to find again. I talked him into leaving with me.
Why?
He's a connection.
He's moved some green for me on the coast.
We know the kind of queer you've been pushing.
Give. Jim Harris. Where'd you operate before California?
Miami and Palm Beach. Who was your distributor? Sam Corey.
I saw Sam last week. He wasn't in Florida.
And then you saw a ghost. Sam drew 15 years at Lewisburg. He cheated him out of 13 of it when he died.
What were you passing?
Miller's Green.
Tens?
20s. Miller did not make a 10.
Who prints the stuff you got from Rick?
Don't know and didn't tell me.
How does it stack up to Miller's?
Like a limp piece of lettuce. That's all the questions I'm going to answer. Now, if you don't want my business, I'll take myself elsewhere.
We'll have to check you out a little more first.
I'm sorry, I can't wait around.
I'm afraid you'll have to. Rick made a serious mistake when he came back here. When you came with him, you bought a piece of that mistake. Could be fatal.
When's the jury come in?
We'll let you know. Take him back to the hotel. We're checking you two out of that flea bag.
Anybody does that can't be all bad.
Third floor, room 327. You're all checked in. Merry Christmas.
Aren't you going to see us to our rooms?
No, sir, Mr. Harris. You're the run of the hotel. We make only one request. Stay inside.
The outfit owns the place. Every clerk, bellhop, and maid will be watching us.
It's very efficient.
Believe it.
It's all right if we buy a change of clothing?
I wouldn't invest in anything too fancy. Could be all you need's a dark suit.
First $200 is on you, the money you held out from the charter.
Warehouse 3 used to be prohibition hoods. All legit now. Jason has a packing company. Prescott deals in paper supplies. Old Doc Rondell runs a printing shop in the quarter. All in the family.
How did they get into counterfeiting?
Like fire horses, missed the action. They backed Leighton in the whole operation. He's the brain. Leighton Willard. I didn't think it'd be this bad, Jim. I'm sorry.
He's sorry.
Rick, inside, please.
There.
Oh, Rick, how could you be such a fool?
Oh, I missed you. I missed you.
And nobody mentioned the hospitality suite.
Diane Laszlo. Mr. Harris, isn't it?
Everybody has connections.
Rick, how could you be such a fool? It was all I could do to keep them from killing you the first time. I don't think they'd listen to me again.
Layton will. He's still the boss. They'll have to do what he says.
No, the deal was for you to stay out of New Orleans. Rick, you have to get out of town while there's still time. Look, there's an emergency exit from the beauty shop on the second floor. Everybody has connections.
Considering the ownership of this hotel, I wonder how your presence will go unnoticed.
It won't, Mr. Harris. I'll be reported and I'll be scolded, but I won't be killed. Rick might be.
You wouldn't want that on your conscience.
No, I wouldn't.
We can trust her. Well, I bet my last... Yeah.
We all do what we have to. Rick, me, even you, I suppose. Although I don't know what you're doing here either.
You don't know about the buy.
What buy?
That's why I called you, so you could get to Layton first.
What are you talking about?
I got 150,000 genuine. Now I'm interested in trading it for some that isn't.
Here's my passport, don't you see?
A corner on forgiveness.
That could make a difference.
Diane, please, get us to Layton.
Yeah, alone. I don't want to do business with the over-the-hill mob.
You can arrange it.
Sure you can trust me?
No, but nobody's guaranteeing much anything these days.
I can talk to him. What's the deal?
15 points.
I believe the usual is 25.
Yeah, a little break on volume. We're talking about $1 million.
And you have the 150?
All I need is a telephone.
You can use that one if you like.
Isn't that being monitored?
What's the difference? All you're doing is what they'd want you to do.
Operator, I want to place a long-distance collect call to a Mr. Manny Lucas, area code 213. The number is 476-7301. Yes, this is Jim Harris. I'm in room 327. Thank you.
You still have to leave town, Rick. You know that.
Okay. But why does it have to be alone this time? My cut out of the buy will give me a new stake. I can...
You can what? No more long shots, Rick, remember?
Now, Manny, this is Jim Harris. Yeah, that's right. I'm at the Willow Hotel. I knew I could count on you. Yeah, I know where it is. It's in the lobby. I bought some clothes there. Yeah, will do. Thanks, Manny. Well, how soon can you arrange a meeting?
How soon can you get the money?
7:30 tonight.
If he says yes, I'll send a car for you.
If he says no?
Then I'll know I always tried. My conscience will be clear. Won't it, Mr. Harris?
Let's have something to eat.
I can get her back, Jim. I know I can. You don't think so?
What would I know about it?
She still cares. You could see that. I mean, she risked her neck to try to warn me, didn't she?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, why would she bother?
Well, she set it herself. She didn't want to feel responsible for what might happen to you.
We had a great thing going, Jim. You don't know what a great thing. Sure, she got tired of my bad luck. Can't blame her for that. But that's all it was. Just bad luck. Well, not anymore. We got a new stake. Things are going to be different now. Once she's convinced of that, you'll see. You'll see.
Why don't you try the salt? It's very good.
No, I'm not hungry.
Let me put it another way. We're going to be doing some business tonight. I'd like you to lay off the sauce and get some food in you. Give you something to do while I'm gone.
Where do you think you're going?
Well, not outside this building. You convinced me of that.
Well, then I go with you.
Sorry.
You're not getting out of my side.
All right, we'll do it your way. We'll just sit here and wait until Diane's car comes to pick us up, and then we'll say sorry, no deal.
What?
Rick blew it again.
Me?
Hey, wouldn't leave me alone so I could make arrangements to pick up my money.
No, wait a minute. You were on your way to get the 150?
If I don't leave this room alone in the next few minutes, you can forget about the 150, the deal, and your cut.
Well, I guess it's safe enough inside the hotel. Well, how are you going to get it?
Well, if I told you that, you'd know as much as I do. That ain't a good idea. Up or down? Well, I haven't really decided yet. Now go on, I'm in no hurry. Neither am I. Just looking around.
Joe Dodge. We waited till the last minute to give you the money.
Got two new names. Leighton Willard. Moore says he's number one. And Diane Laszlo. She could be the connection.
Bag on the end. Here's how we'll handle it. We'll try.
Cool it. I'll take this.
Very good, sir.
Don't bother to wrap it. I'll take it with me.
That'll be $28.35 with the tax, sir.
Yep.
Very good. And your change.
Have a receipt, please. Business deduction.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was beginning to miss you. You get thirsty standing out in the hall. Come on in. I'll buy you a drink. Case. On the couch. Key. Whose side you on?
May I represent management? Just a little security check. Make sure you didn't pick up anything in the store. Gun, bug, stuff like that. Well, this was supposed to be full of,
It's lucky it is.
Oh, no. I'm not supposed to touch any cash. Matter of fact, when I get out of here, they'll search me and make sure I didn't.
Sure they will.
All right. Car waiting for you outside.
Now? Already?
Now, Rick.
Now, just hold it, Jim. What do you think you're doing?
I'm going to a meeting.
With an empty briefcase.
I'm going to need something to carry all that money.
What money? Now, look, Jim, we're supposed to be partners, aren't we?
I don't remember mentioning the term.
Well, not full partners, no, but we're in this together. I've got a right to know what your plans are, don't I?
And I'll lay it out for you. You're just a little too hinky about money to suit me. I think you're a bad risk.
Now, just a minute.
The money is in town now. When I make the buy, that's when you'll see it, not before.
Oh. Oh, you're having it delivered. Right, huh? Huh? right?
Well, I don't see what you're so upset about. All I had was 4 little martinis.
It's a very important meeting, Martha, and the least you could do is...
Well, why don't you finish it? The least I could do is what? Sit around in that little room all day while you're going off to meetings here, off to meetings there. Well, hello there. My, isn't he handsome? And you're all alone, too.
Martha, for heaven's sake, you're making a fool out of yourself. You'll have to forgive her, sir. She's had a couple too many.
Not too many to know a gentleman when I see one.
A&E's.
Welcome, Rick. Mr. Harris.
I'm impressed. You live here, Miss Laszlo?
We both do. And the name is not Miss Laszlo, it's Willard. Mrs. Willard.
Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Leighton Willard.
How do you do?
Anyone care for a drink?
No, thanks.
Darling?
Yes, please, dear.
Rick?
Well, Rick, this is rather unexpected. Just one surprise after another. I see. But I'm afraid some of our associates are a little less than pleased at your return.
I figure I'm paying for the ride.
Oh, I see. Thank you, dear. You won't be staying long, so I won't ask you for dinner.
If it's all right with you, I'd like to get this over with in a hurry.
Leighton, I thought we'd have dinner first.
We're overwhelmed by your hospitality.
We do business here.
There's a valise under the table.
May I open it?
Yes, please go ahead. That's the best looking $1 million worth of counterfeit you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's good. Mrs. Willard said 15 points, all right?
I think 150,000 will buy it. Care to use the phone?
Don't need the phone.
I believe you have to make a call. Press told me you came empty-handed.
That's right. He's having the money delivered.
No problem about the money. I don't need the phone.
Well, then where is it?
Right here.
Oh, come on, Jim.
You want to bet it, is it?
It's empty. I saw it.
That's your idea of a sure thing?
It's a sure thing.
You want to bet you're part of the action?
I give odds.
If you don't mind, Mr. Harris, both Diane and I had quite enough of risk gambling long ago.
I just wanted to show him that there's no bet that's a sure thing.